good, listeners? Our guest on Just Talking is actor Vescio to discuss his award-winning holiday film, See You Next Christmas, live on the Chris Collins Show, Millennial Talk Show. As he connects that audio, gets his video stream on, we will let him know what's good. Vin, how you doing, my man? Look at you, you in the holiday spirit. You have no shame celebrating Christmas in November.
Yes, the ugly Christmas sweater. I love
it. He's got the ugly Christmas sweater rocking.
Here. It has your name on it?
Right here. Yep.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, did your mom make that?
My girlfriend Lauren makes me one every year.
Okay, I was about to say, did your mom make it? But now we know it's your girlfriend Lauren. Amazing. I love it.
Well, obviously you are in this kind of relationships, and obviously, you got to promote a film, See You Next Christmas. But are you that kind of individual that watches Christmas in July?
I am not. It's sort of a tug of war in the house of when we can start Christmas, which I know is a popular argument, but I'm a let's let Thanksgiving happen.
Okay, preach it.
That's me too. That's me. It's the day after Thanksgiving is when you are allowed, because you have off that day, allowed to bring out your Christmas lights. You're allowed to bring out the tree or go buy the tree or whatever that is and get it ready. But please,
let's just butter the turkey first before we start getting into those kind of Christmas celebrations. But before we begin, let's show the CCS family what's good. I'm going to have Marissa go ahead and play the teaser now of See You Next Christmas.
Tom, what's your diagnosis for me?
I would say soulmate.
Oh, sometimes you just know.
Bet no guy is ever good enough for you.
Do you ever let anyone in?
Hello, Natalie. I thought you'd be impressed that I remembered your name.
Come on in.
Welcome to the family. You locked that down quick.
Already let her get away once in high school.
Adler is Natalie's fiance.
You ghosted me.
What if there's an explanation?
You should have at least called me. You messed it up.
You think we'll have this party forever?
Yeah, of course. We have thrown this party for the last 7 years. People look forward to it. It's special.
So you gotta love it. That is See You Next Christmas. And Vin, is this a tale of love and missed opportunities? Is this a fair way to put it?
Boy, you hit the nail right on the head there. That's exactly what it is.
And you love it for that, because I know you play the husband Tom alongside triple threat writer, director, and actress Christine Weatherup, which, bless her soul, I know she just got pregnant.
She's been pregnant. She's giving birth, if not already has.
As you can tell, I'm a single guy in the holidays, okay?
You're doing your best.
Doing my best. I need to start attending some of these Clark.
Because he doesn't know where babies still come from. He still thinks it comes from a stork.
I thought it comes from the toy store. You just pick up your doll. No, I'm just kidding.
A beautiful stork flies in and lands all the babies where they belong.
The wonderful things about the holiday
Unless you're
season.
Dumbo. And then you're going to end up with the wrong mommy.
Right, exactly.
That happens.
But from first impression, this film feels so relatable, especially since we're all slowly getting back together after this pandemic. And what's your advice for surviving those awkward holiday parties?
It's tough. It really depends on what type of party you're at. If you're at a party where you know everybody and it's familiar and you can kind of be yourself and be comfortable, that's great. That's one.
And being comfortable, is it rocking an ugly Christmas sweater, or is it always having a glass in hand? Or is it both?
I wouldn't know. I don't really have any ugly Christmas sweaters. I have beautiful normal Christmas sweaters.
Vin's trying to get laid tonight.
Yeah, Vin's trying to get laid by his girlfriend tonight, so he's got to play it real cool. But when it came to that...
I can't.
But when it comes to the reference of Clarkness, was that where did that come from? I kind of have an idea.
So Christine and her husband Matt, who also produced the film, they would have a Christmas party every year. So the basis of having the party where they see everyone at least once a year and they come together and they kind of, are at different stages in their life comes from their real life Christmas parties that they have. So that kind of morphed into our characters are named Clark. So the Clarkness came from that, but it was a real life party that they have every year.
FYI, I was right. I just
Yeah, you were right. I mean, some of us were thinking it was maybe. Some of us were kind of thinking it was a reference to National Lampoon. That's what we were thinking because of Clark, you know. So that's what we were kind of thinking behind the scenes.
Just read the characters' names.
But okay, fine, Marissa, fine. Okay, you win this time around. But
I like
the
deep thinking. I actually think there is something to that. I'm not 100%, but I think there was a little vacation wink in the name.
Okay, see, I get a little bit of salt.
Hey, you are like the best, even in the movie and who you are such the good middleman of like negotiating and making everybody happy. Like, kudos.
Isn't that such a true point? And even your character, Tom, is that guy in the majority of the film. And often holiday parties can lead to these awkward conversations. And, you know, how do you save yourself from, you know, becoming or looking like the Grinch at a holiday party? Because, I mean, I need your advice because, you know, all the times, you know, when the holiday season comes up, I'm always trying to navigate these awkward conversations with your weird uncle, possibly your boring cousin, or that like too enthusiastic old friend. So what are some of those advices to get out of those kind of tricky situations?
Well, I feel like if it's a family thing and you have to go to it, that's one thing. But I think like budgeting your time and what you actually want to be at. So if it's a party that you're going to because you feel like you have to, maybe you can skip that, especially now when our time is so precious. And you know, I know, like,
but what if you have no choice to engage? What if you have no choice? Like, with me, for example, I always have that like one aunt that's always wondering, like, well, hey, Chris, what's going on with your sex life? And it's like, what's wrong with just saying I'm single, I'm not ready to mingle, and like, how do you tell them that I'm just not interested in dating? I mean, do you have any advice? I know you have a thing going on, but I'm sure did you have those kind of feelings at one point, or is it just me?
For sure. And Chris, I do want to know what's going on with your sex life, but we can do that later or as a separate thing. But I think you can just kind of, you know that you build yourself an exit strategy or, you know, have something ready to go so you can kind of pivot that conversation to something you actually want to talk about.
Okay, exit strategy. Because for me, and I'm sure other females have encountered this, that uncle that married into the family that then hits on you when you're over 18 is beyond awkward, and it's always about the exit strategy. So you could be like, okay, drunk uncle, bye.
But what it sounds like, though, Marissa, I could be wrong, but I'm hearing Vin, and he sounds like, just from after filming See You Next Christmas, you sound like you know what it takes to host a Christmas party on your own. Have you thought about that in the future, and will you be having your own type of Clarkmas?
For sure, yeah. I think a big part of that, and with any party, is curating what groups of friends or people that you're inviting that are going to get along naturally, and you don't have to worry about like different groups with different vibes, and then there being awkward situations where people are stuck talking to people they don't want to talk to.
And we learned no hot apps, and don't invite the late relative who always comes late to bring the appetizers.
That's so true.
Yeah,
you will be hungry.
Listen, you can't rely on anyone. You got to just put down what you're willing to put down, and if it's a hot app, I think it's a wrong move.
But Ben, let's talk about you as the actor, because I know acting is at its simplest, you know, the attempt to most accurately and authentically portray the experience of someone who is not you. But how did you approach this role? Are you just playing you?
It's definitely a version of me. I think the advantage of this was it was all shot chronologically. So year one is, you know, the first week or whatever of shooting and so on. So I think as the shoot went on, as we all got more comfortable with each other, and as I got more comfortable, you know, it lended itself to showing up on screen of everybody's kind of chemistry. And certainly with AJ and Liz, you know, same situation where they didn't know each other and they met right before shooting. So as they kind of connected and built a relationship as friends, as actors, it kind of showed up on screen too. So for me, I think that was helpful to be able to build something on on the shoot as it went.
Yeah, that's amazing. And
I think I did a great job.
Well, you guys all did a great job. And I mean, it's a great millennial rom-com. But, focusing on just you for a little bit, besides, the See You Next Christmas, what got you into acting?
I was a really shy kid and had no aspirations to do anything of the sort. And I moved out to LA, and I was, doing the move to LA thing, and I was a PA on a bunch of different things, and I ended up there was a sketch on a live show with George Wendt from Cheers and Second City,
Nice.
And the person that was going to do the sketch couldn't do it, and last minute I jokingly was like, I'll do it. I used to bartend. I could jump in there. And they were like, you should. You want to audition? And I was like, no. Totally kidding. I have no interest. And they made me audition, and then they gave it to me, and then I got to improvise with George Wendt, and it was so fun, and I was so relaxed, and it came kind of naturally. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm going to dip my toe into this. And I started doing improv and sketch and all that here in LA. And
I don't think I've heard of such an intriguing story of that nature when it comes to acting. Most of them are just like, I was a child star. My mom saw something in my eyes, they glow nice with the ring light. But no, you actually fell into it kind of accidental. And let me just say, Vin, you did an amazing job playing Tom. And, I kind of want to switch this up just a little bit, kind of talk a little industry talk, since you kind of went there a little bit talking about PA.
My mom saw nothing in my eyes.
Saw nothing in your eyes.
No. She's like, go be corporate, honey. Go be corporate.
But Vin, I'm curious. I mean, when is the last time you went to the movies?
I went to the movies last night.
You went to the movies? What did you see?
Okay, well, all right. So I saw, this is so stupid, but I saw Sylvester Stallone recut Rocky IV and did a screening, and I went and saw that.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty cool. And I mean, the reason that I bring this up is millennials are the serial killers of our times. Before the pandemic, 18% of millennials reported going to the movies weekly, and 27% reported going monthly. And it's important to note that our generation is the highest percentage out of any of the age groups, right? So we are the generation that invented Netflix and chill. And will the movie theater experience be the same? I mean, you were there last night. I mean, you were at a private screening, not necessarily a public screening, but did you feel like that overall feeling of getting inside the movie theater again and just viewing it as a whole with the listening audience? Is it back? Does it feel the same to you?
I will preface and say it was.
There was a long sigh before you just said that.
Stallone. I wish. No, but I think me personally, I have always been crazy about going to the movies. I love going to the movies. I think it's magic. And so I hope when COVID is kind of in the rearview mirror, at least the best we can. I hope it'll be back. I think I had the pleasure of watching See You Next Christmas twice in the theater, and it's and I love TV, and there's so much great TV, and I really I get that there's so much out there you can do at home. But
I guess because you just went there with COVID, and I think that's I guess that's somewhat of a fair point. But let me share this with you, because compared to baby boomers, older audiences have more concerns about indoor public settings, given that COVID becomes more dangerous the older you get. But that's not necessarily the case for millennials. So with that being said, why do you think millennials are having theater hesitancy?
Well, if we're taking COVID out of it, I think it's just there's so much available at home, and there's so much great stuff available at home that it's very easy to just get into a show, and you're watching it at home for free or for $8 a month or whatever. It's just too easy stay home. And
Have you fallen into that trap? I know for myself, I got a big old 60-inch TV in my living room. I don't necessarily want to go anywhere, but I did want to kind of share this because this was kind of big news yesterday that dropped on the Wall Street Journal because Stacy Spikes, the co-founder of MoviePass, you know, that movie theater ticket subscription service that became the sensation. Remember of the summer of 2017, and then you know, before it collapsed in epic fashion for Marissa and a lot of the other peers that got ahead and grabbed those cards. But will this win back millennials to go back to the theater, or do you think it's not going to do anything?
That's tough to say. I remember at the time kind of hearing that MoviePass was actually not great for the movie theaters because it cut into
it's very little no money. They wanted like $50 a month.
Didn't like it, but I saw more movies that summer.
Sure,
I'm cheap. I don't want to spend like $40 on a movie where someone is probably going to cough or like.
But what do you think though, Vin? What you were about to say something? What do you think?
Well, I also think, you know, the concessions are a big thing. So if people are in the theaters buying concessions, that's a thing. But I think it's good timing. Like if you know,
but don't you think but don't you think it also depends on the movies, given the increase in sales for tickets, like Marissa sort of stated? I mean, is it kind of the quality of film? Like we're starting to compare films to Netflix, and it's like, you know, the only time we want to go to the theater nowadays, it seems like, is for the Eternals or James Bond. You know, you're not going to go and see that normal indie film anymore. Do you think it's because remakes and sequels are possibly ruining this kind of theater experience?
That's tough. I think, you know,
I guess we'll ask yourself this: what gets you to go to the theater?
Very little. Very little. I'll go for whatever, but I think, you know, I also love a bad remake or a sequel or, you know, a Marvel thing. But I think like the cinephiles that used to go see, you know, the $20 million, you know, kind of Oscar baity stuff. But
I mean, there's so many good stories out there today, but why does Hollywood continue to dole out junk, if you know what I'm saying? I mean, everybody's trashing the Eternals. I mean, it just goes to prove that you can be an Academy Award-winning director and still tank a blockbuster film. So what's it going to take to get the millennials to go in? Myself personally feels like when you continue to do these remakes, you continue to do these sequels, and you become unoriginal, and you don't bring in some of that new storytelling with inclusion and diversity with the arts, I think that's what's going to ultimately tank the Regal theaters and AMC. What do you am I right, or do you think I'm onto something, or do you think I'm like way off?
That's totally fair. That's totally fair. You know, it's as the new generations come up and what they've come up with, it's, you know, it's catering to a lot of different people's kind of draw to go to the theaters, where it used to just be, you know, there was 5 new movies out a weekend, or not even, and everyone would just go see whatever was out. And now you can see a great Oscar movie on Amazon, and so it feels like the only people that are going to theaters might be for the big blockbustery ones, and then, you know, I don't know because I personally, with myself, I don't know about you, Marissa, I think the only time I'm actually excited to get to the movie theaters, like anytime soon, is possibly in March when Robert Pattinson goes to reprise the Batman, just because it's so dark and creepy. I cannot wait for that, but it's not. Oh, hey, there we go. Christmas stories with Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman. I love it. That is so funny. But Vin, you have been so amazing, my man. And where can the CCS family watch See You Next Christmas today? It's available on iTunes. It's available on Amazon, and probably other cool streaming places I'm not hip enough to know about.
Hey, we all know the drill. Go press in that google.com, google.com, type in See You Next Christmas. You will find this film on all kinds of streaming services. Vin, thank you again for joining the Chris College Show, Millennial Talk Show. And I'm already feeling spirited, and I feel like that's a sin I'm breaking in November.
You're Vin, my first Christmas. Honestly, this was the first Christmas movie of the year for me. So thank
Oh,
you.
wow.
Yeah, that's true for me as well.
Thanksgiving. You got me
now
in.
that I think about it, that's so true. Finn, you're the
Mix
man
you
for
into
that.
it early.
Exactly. Thank you,
Pre-Thanksgiving, I
Calvin.
got you.
Right,
Thank you
Finn.
so
Thank you
much.
again for joining the Chris
All
Collins
right.
Show, Millennial Talk Show.